This video is about using the unknown, the uncertainty, especially on AI, as a brake. It is against doomsaying of AI. My core thesis is that all the questions, what if AI gets too expensive, too risky, all these questions assume that waiting is neutral. It isn't. Waiting is a bet, and historically, it's the losing one. From Gutenberg to electricity to cars, the negative effects were real. Societal management was imperfect, but economic engagement was never being stopped, and innovation was never contained by saying halt. Worse, waiting actively prevents you from building the only thing that actually protects you, which is knowledge of the emerging technology. Here are some questions that sound like caution, and the questions are legit. The position following from them often, the warning not to engage, not to be involved, to be more careful, are not legit and not working. And they all share a structure and a flaw. Examples. What if AI coding gets so expensive that hiring humans is cheaper again? What if companies build on unit economics that break when subsidies end? What if employees become cognitively dependent and can't function without AI? All legit, all reasonable. But note what they share. They all treat acting as the risk and waiting as safety. But that assumption needs some examining. Jevons flips the cost argument. The fear of the cost argument is already 150 years old, and it has always been wrong in the same direction. William Stanley Jevons in 1865 observed that the more efficient steam engines are, the more coal consumption will happen, not less. Efficiency makes a resource economically viable for more use cases. The usage explodes. Infrastructure investments then scale and costs normalize as an effect. Applied to AI, that means, what if AI gets too expensive, misunderstands how technology adoption works? If AI coding becomes more efficient, more use cases become viable, more investment happens, and more infrastructure comes up and matures. We see that happening. We don't know if the economy works out, which means if it stays expensive, only the highest value use cases will survive, and that is called a working market. It's fine. The cost fear assumes that a static economy exists, but Jevons' paradox proves it doesn't. Some say this is the end of the matrix and this is where economy collapses. Fine, I get it. Still, waiting doesn't help. It doesn't prevent that from happening, and you will not be better prepared. Anyways, let's look into the historical cascade. Did it ever go smoothly? No. Did that mean it stops? No. Example 1. Gutenberg, 1450, the printing press. It enabled all the bad things, propaganda, religious wars. The Reformation happened. Power shifts reshaped all of Europe. Was any of that exclusively positive? Never. Did society eventually develop tools like literacy, libraries, education, copyright, journalism? Yes, it took centuries and it was imperfect. Did it stop the economic engagement of all of us? No way. Books, newspapers, knowledge, education, again, it spread. It was unstoppable because it was an insanely good idea. Electricity. It started with electrocution, deaths, fires. The current wars between Edison and Tesla, and even a literal bad battle over standards in which animals were killed to show the dangers of the other model, coal plants, pollution, monopolies. Did society develop building codes, safety standards, regulations? Yes. Were we perfect? No way. Did it stop? No. We electrified everything as a consequence. Last example, cars and traffic. Every year, we do have 1.35 million deaths globally in traffic, air pollution, urban sprawl, oil dependency, class divides. Did society manage it? Well, partially. Seat belts, speed limits, emission standards, decades of incomplete regulation. Here we are. Did we stop traffic? No, we have more cars than ever. So here's the whole cascade again. Were the effects of all these things exclusively positive? No. Is it society's task to manage them? Yes. Do we always do it well? No way. Does that stop economic engagement? No. Will we continue? Yes. Can we contain that drive of innovation? No. And here we go. Waiting is a stance, and it's self-defeating in that context. You do not gain the protection you're looking for. You lose the knowledge that is actually required to navigate the risks that you're worried about. Using the unknown, the uncertainty as the brake looks like caution. It looks like virtue, but it's just a position. It's a bet. And what you're betting is the unknown stays unknown. I will not touch it, so it won't happen. I do not see it, it won't happen. Costs stay high, higher order container never appears. That is your speculative position. But it's worse. It does not protect you from the thing you're worried about. You're worried about cognitive atrophy? Conquer it. You have to learn how to work with AI without losing yourself. And that knowledge, gaining it, requires engagement. You're worried about cost dependency? Well, you will have to understand the ecosystem from the inside. You're worried about closed talent pools? Well, start building the knowledge advantage now, not in a couple of years, not in the B wave. The waiting makes your gap worse, and it's widening daily. Abstinent does not build resilience. It forfeits the learning that resilience requires. With that, there remains the defensible position, which is engage. And the question was never, should we engage? The question is always, how do we engage? Treat it as the bet. Size it appropriately so that you can engage in meaningful ways that seem responsible to you. The Gutenberg option, the refusing to engage with printing, was never available to the societies that mattered. The problems that were to be solved were bigger than the problems that appeared from the new technology. So the question was always how to engage, not whether. And with that, all the doomsaying, all the virtue signaling about I will not let AI touch my code, my writing will always be pure human, go at it, but it does not prevent you from what will happen.